today to honor and celebrate the life of my dad, Phil. Seeing so many friends and family gathered here is a testament to the incredible man he was and the impact he had on so many lives. We would like to thank everyone for their unwavering support throughout these past few months. My dad was a man of many roles: a loyal husband, a caring father, a proud grandfather, a dedicated teacher, and a hardworking farmer. But beyond these titles, he was a man who cared deeply for the people around him. Whether he was in the classroom, out on the farm, or cheering on his favorite teams, the Celtics, Red Sox, Patriots, or Yukon Huskies, he always brought passion, dedication, and a sharp sense of humor to everything that he did. His commitment for watching his teams was always apparent, and if we walked into the room and the TV was muted, we knew things were not going well. He reacted as if every single game was a playoff game, even if it was only the third game of the season. It is fitting that we honor my dad on the day of the Kentucky Derby, as he was always such a fan of horse racing, betting, and especially his time with family and friends at the Saratoga racetrack. If you knew my dad, you knew his wit was unmatched. His quick comebacks and sarcastic humor could catch you off guard, but they always left you laughing. Many of us remember his "we were so poor" stories and his ability to turn any situation into a story that he would share, perfecting the details with every retell. He had a way of making every situation lighter, of making people feel comfortable, and of making sure that no one ever took themselves too seriously. One of the things I will cherish most about him is the way he connected with people. Whether it was his students, his friends, or his family, he had a gift for making people feel heard, respected, and valued. He was a man of wisdom, but he never forced his advice on anyone. He simply led by example. And above all, he loved his family. He was an incredible father and an even better grandfather, Papa to Colleen and Clara, who adored him. He took so much pride in watching them grow and in sharing stories and laughter that will stay with them forever. My dad may not have always shared his feelings with words, but his actions spoke volumes. In high school, when they missed the bus for a field trip, admittedly because my dad was too caught up chatting away during breakfast at the diner to remember that he had different obligations that morning, he drove Amy the 180 plus miles to meet up with her class for a field trip in SUNY Cobleskill in upstate New York. Once he had ensured she met up with her classmates, he then drove back alone so that she would be able to take the bus home with her friends. When I was in high school and we were unexpectedly without a cross-country and track coach, my dad stepped in. He donated the stipend he was given back to the team so we could get new uniforms for the first time in over 15 years. He did these things quietly and without fanfare, showing his love for us with his actions. My dad was always watching my girls play when they came to his house, commenting on how imaginative they were. He was always ready to enthusiastically order a 2-5 from Colleen when she was younger and insisting that this was the best order. While Clara and my dad always had a special bond, particularly in her younger years when she would snuggle with him for hours. He took pride in watching videos of their events and concerts and in quoting them in their particular phrasing. My dad and my mom had an extraordinary marriage and partnership. My dad would always get my mom flowers on the anniversary of their first date. He loved to show us the Brandy Hill Church where they got married, and we decided to have a celebration of life here at the Speedway. In part, it's because where my parents' wedding reception was held back in 1980, in this very room. My dad never tired of talking about the family-style steak dinner they had as their wedding reception meal, and anyone who knows my dad knows how much food was tied into his favorite memories. While in his early years, my dad spent many a family trip forging ahead on hikes or waiting in the car for the rest of us to get ready. In his later years, he enjoyed more quiet activities. He rediscovered a love of reading and was a voracious reader, frequently sending my mom back to the library for a new stack of books. My dad and I would often swap copies of books and share our favorites, bonding over discussions of books like the Beartown trilogy. With my sister, he always shared a love of animals. Whether it was conspiring with her while she was in middle school to secretly order a box of live ducks, much to my mom's surprise when she got that call from the post office while teaching, to his latest favorite pastime of feeding the cats or the raccoons, or particularly the possums on the roof for an all-you-can-eat buffet. With the advent of streaming shows and being retired, my parents were able to binge-watch entire seasons in mere months, sometimes even weeks. I would frequently find them in discussions of people and events which, by their passion and emotional connections, I believe were people in town who I just didn't remember, only to find out that they were some of their beloved characters from Heartland or Shameless who were experiencing tragedies or injustice that they just needed to discuss. My dad's time with extended family and friends was always a highlight. He enjoyed having lunch with his mother almost every single day after he retired, and when we were younger, the time spent at Grandma's for the holidays and weekend get-togethers was an integral part of all of our lives. My dad loved the beach, and especially in the past few years when we got to celebrate with the Murray family at the beach in Lewis, Delaware. He also enjoyed his time with family and friends in Martha's Vineyard, experiencing the sun, sand, and good food. The times he spent with friends camping, going to cookouts on Memorial Day and Labor Day weekends, and trekking through the woods for Princess Pine to make wreaths on Christmas craft weekends were some of our most treasured memories. My dad loved this town, and he loved being able to connect with his students as a teacher. He shared so many stories of his time as a student at Turlock High School, and then he spent nearly the entirety of his teaching career at his alma mater. He loved his time in the gym before school started, playing basketball and mentoring his students. He was always excited to see a former student or colleague around town, especially if he got to catch up with them at the diner, where he spent many happy mornings having spirited discussions with friends and any other patrons who engaged in conversation with him. He also loved to catch up with everyone at Deary Brothers' Mike's Stand, where he would most likely be enjoying his favorite meal of clam chowder and whole belly clams. Many people refer to my dad as the tractor man, and nothing brought him more joy than spending time out on the tractor, though nothing brought him more woe than the weather when it was raining too much to bale the hay. There may have even been a time or two when he got so distracted by the haying that he forgot to pick one or the other of us up. He loved haying so much that in his later years he rigged up his own system to get on the tractors and even lost a cane or three in the fields before he was finally coerced to stick with the lawnmower instead. In one of my dad's newest favorite shows, Ted Lasso, there is a scene where Ted is at a bar and shares the wisdom to be curious, not judgmental. I have always felt like this quote described my dad. If he got you alone, he would talk a lot, asking questions and trying to understand your perspective, particularly if you had a different life experience than he did. Not that he would always agree with those perspectives, but he would always be willing to listen and offer up his own opinions. Though he is no longer with us, his presence is woven into the fabric of our lives. We will see him in the lessons he taught, in the stories we continue to tell, in the moments of laughter we share, and in the love that binds us all together. So today, as we remember him, let's honor him the way he would have wanted, by sharing stories, by laughing at the memories, and by carrying forward the humor and curiosity that made him who he was. Dad, we love you, we miss you, and we will always carry you in our hearts. We invite anyone who would like to share their memories to speak at this time. Thank you all for helping us to celebrate a life